Welcome to The Cause Effect with your host, Carl Kozlowski, and his team of correspondents bringing you the world's bad news badly. And now, Carl Kozlowski. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you out there, sorry about the deja vu, but we only lost a couple minutes, so hang with us, it'll be great. This is Carl Kozlowski with The Cause Effect, where we bring you the week's bad news badly from the heart of Hollywood at Radio Titan Studios in Hollywood. And today we've got an exciting panel. You know him, you love him. He's one of our utmost regulars, Mr. Scott Sycamore.
Yeah, utmost. What's up, Carl Weathers' doppelganger?
All right, and then with him is his esteemed friend, John Montana Jr.
John Montana Jr. in the mother-freaking house, y'all.
And filling in for a second time on the show is Mr. Jim Coughlin, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy.
And one of our other all-time regulars, the voice of reason, Cordell the Joker Pace.
Was upper again.
So we've got a lot of news to cover this week. I think it's the best lineup of stories in quite a while. So this week we had the election of the new Pope, and basically I love this guy's name if I don't know too much else about him. George Mario Bergoglio. Jorge from Argentina. And just love Bergoglio. It sounds like sort of a fun kid's toy. Or
Argentina is a part
food.
of Mexico, right?
No. Okay. But he's coming in after the rather surprising retirement of Pope Benedict. No Pope had retired in over 600 years, and Benedict decided, hey man, enough of this noise, made all these scandals and everything, and decided, I'm 85, it's time to hit the beach. So
he pulled a Scarface. Hey man, I retire.
I retire. He said hello to my little friend.
Yeah, next little friend.
So
his little friend.
Hey Jorge, get the Yale.
But apparently there's a aspect of Benedict's life that some people are bringing up. Scott Sycamore referred to it about Gorgeous George. What was the story about that?
Oh yeah, basically the previous Pope Benedict had his good buddy, his assistant, his main assistant basically, who was Gorgeous George without an E.
Why was he called Gorgeous George?
Because he's like this handsome middle-age-ish,
Yeah, he's like this huge
Anderson Cooper-ish, fucking papal. I don't know. He's Belgian.
There were all these rumors going around that was the Pope's like boy toy.
Yeah,
wow!
Gay stuff.
Supposedly that's the reason the Pope really stepped down. Because
I did hear a little bit about that. Wow!
Yeah,
but they're going to be sharing the new home together, perhaps, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the new Pope
and also 150 of the cardinals that participated in the election of the new Pope are connected to the child molestation scandals.
150. There are only 115 that voted.
Yeah, exactly.
So every one of them is connected. I don't.
and then
like connected somehow in like some kind of cover up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But the new Pope, he's so fucking awesome.
Okay.
I don't get to him. You want to talk about? I know you're chomping to mention because you're a big Catholic, right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. So, but I mean, any opinions from you guys, Jim?
There's a lot of interesting things. One of the things that they've been talking about is he is the first Latin Pope. He's the first Pope from the Southern Hemisphere, and
Southern Hemisphere. I get it.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a joke.
Okay.
Anyway.
I have no idea what's going on here.
I don't either.
And but after hundreds of years of Italian popes, he is the son of two Italian immigrants. So even then, they're kind of cheating and getting another Italian in there.
Okay.
And of course, he has an Italian last name.
Oh.
But
That's it. I didn't know that. That's an interesting fact.
Yeah. The other thing is a lot of conservative Catholic friends I went to high school with are real happy to have a new pope, but I hope that there's some meaning behind the fact that he's named himself after St. Francis of Assisi, who, of course, was a saint who took a total vow of poverty.
Well, he
does. Right? Sorry,
yeah, he was as a cardinal riding around on the bus.
That's right.
Yeah,
chauffeured limos and things like that.
He's the ultimate Antichrist because he lives that life of like, yes, he really cares about the poor. He really is.
How's that an antichrist? That's the ultimate Christ.
I give you some numerology. That might be too deep for this show. We'll do it on the Kabbalah.
Well, the day he was anointed, he paid his own bill at the Motel 6, the equivalent to whatever the Motel 6 is.
Motel
in Rome.
666.
Wow.
And
Motel 666.
You mean where the Cardinals were staying at?
yeah, he actually paid. He took the money out from his, his wallet, which was
from his holy wallet.
Holy wallet that was in holy water, and then
made of gold and sapphires, but still, he paid his own bill.
Wow.
And then gold coins fell out, and he took the money out.
It was on the 13th. It was March 13th, 2013. 3/13/13. 3 plus 13 plus 13.
Lean into the mic, please.
Yes, Mr. Montana.
Okay. 3 plus 13 plus 13 is, let's see.
It's 29, 2 and 9 is 11. We're not going to harp on that. Also,
but then also, if you add up all the digits, like 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3.
Too much math.
Is 11.
It is too
And what's that have to do with anything 11?
The number 11 always pops up in like like Illuminati numerology.
And then you add the 2 ones together, and you have the number 2.
Yes.
And 2 is the loneliest number.
Exactly.
Next to 1.
Since the number 1.
It's just not good anymore since you went away, Jim.
No, 2 is the number of stoner freaks who don't.
Let's talk about the fact that he's 76. Can we get
somebody
in their 50s at
like
least?
the gas company?
Somebody,
That makes him a young pope.
Because like Ratzinger got in at what 75
7
or so,
plus
right?
6 is 13.
Hey, listen.
But
7 plus 6 is 13.
John Paul II was like really young. He was like 58 when they brought him in.
Yeah.
A damn near fresh-faced grad school student.
He's just out of college, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's only, you talking about the guy in the 80s, John Paul.
Yeah.
He was only 56, and he was around for like 30.
I know, but I'm saying that for a pope.
MF and you. Well, they're talking about
they usually put in these like 75-year-olds that are ready to keel over in 3 days.
They talk about presidential candidates that are almost that old, like McCain and even Ron Paul. Your hero, isn't that right, guys? People like that. So it's not even Hillary and Biden and all these people. They're up there, yo.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because, what could they possibly be? I mean, I'm sure they have a protocol that they go through to pick who they're going to pick to be the pope. But what's really being said? I mean, what's the hardcore facts being shelled out to be like, okay, well, he's better than that guy? I mean, how much better can he be than the next? They're all supposedly holy. You know what I mean? Like, what's the fine line? Like, he cured somebody's polio or something back 3 years ago or something,
It's like politicians. They elect a guy who's going to have their back. Like the last pope spent his whole career protecting child molesters. This new pope right there has relationships with the Argentinian like fascist wing and all that of the government, and it's just like.
But when it comes down to it, in that genre that we're talking about, they can't really be all that different. You know what I mean? They're all under the same veil. They all, you know what I mean? So it's like, it can be anybody, and they're all going to basically do what they need to do to not expose or cripple the religion that's number one in the world.
It's still politics. Apparently they look at, first of all, they want somebody that maybe has experience working in the Vatican. In this case, I don't think he has any, but he was number 2 candidate last time around. And,
I did read that.
And apparently said, I don't want to be Pope at this point. And then this time they didn't really talk about it.
I get old enough.
It's like an accounting office.
I'm too young.
They want someone with experience.
70.
They want someone with experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dumbing it down a little bit, but I'm sure there's definitely rules. But
look,
still, when it comes down to it, it's like
they whip their dicks out, Carl. Put them on the table. Longest pope.
It could be any male Catholic. Paul, Carl, you could have been made pope. It's not a requirement that you be a cardinal.
Really?
Yeah.
And by the way, this new pope is the first alleged Jesuit pope.
That's right. He's the first Jesuit.
And ever? I saw
ever.
Yes.
Ever, as in ever admittedly out of the closet, so to speak, Jesuit.
Jesuits have a fine tradition within the church.
Oh, yes, they do. They do.
I don't know why would
they also operate very secretly.
Carl, it depends on how many Dan Brown books you've read as to how suspicious you are.
They're a bunch of fags.
Well, I'm nominating Carl.
Okay, so
Carl, you're going to be the next pope, Carl. We're going to have Carl be the next pope.
Yes, he can. Pope,
Yeah.
Pope Weathers.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
Chris Matthews is a Jesuit.
Yeah, Chris Matthews came out of the closet too.
Yeah,
Carl.
he came out of the closet as a Jesuit. The same day that the Pope was elected, he's like, "Oh, I'm so proud of this state because I'm a Jesuit." And
I don't think he hid that he was a Jesuit because Georgetown University, where I believe he went, is a Jesuit university. They,
Sure.
you know, people that graduate from that, they're pretty much if they're Catholic, they tend to say they're Jesuit.
Oh yeah, I mean that's DC.
yeah, but Chris Matthews is a Jesuit at least
Right.
according to what he said on his show.
Well, you have to be a priest to be.
Yeah, you'd have to be in a Jesuit order.
No, like a follower. You know, like a follower.
Yeah, well,
Like Kevin Bacon, the follower.
He's just looking for ratings. That's why he said it.
Jesuit, like
Chris Matthews needed ratings, so he just said, "Hey, what else
See,
about
I'm part of a secret society.
he said, "I'm a Jesuit." Like it was like, Does you mean like I'm a Jesuit? Like, I mean, the guy like. He went from being a DC cop to being a speechwriter for Jimmy Carter overnight. You know, the guy
Did
is
he?
not just anybody.
He was a cop.
Oh yeah, Chris
See,
Matthews.
man.
Yeah, he was a cop in Washington D.C. and then he went from that to being a speechwriter for Jimmy Carter. Like
Wow.
just like that. Like,
I
Amazing.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Peanut Man
the
himself.
guy is kind of like
Chris Matthews a cop. All
But
right.
yeah, it's funny stuff. But
He's
yeah,
definitely
a
an
lot of
elite,
these
like,
people,
gatekeeper.
a lot of these people, yeah, they're out there. Maybe he'll move to Glen Becky, Stanistan, his private city. All right, yeah, all that. I can see you.
So, does anybody think that there's going to be any big changes by having a Latin guy in, or is it going to be like, more spicy pronouncements from the Pope, or are we going to see any more loosening of sexual mores because he's from Latin America, or do you think it's going to be same old?
Maybe your sexual mores.
Perhaps.
I don't think he'll change anything on the moral stuff, but he could do more for the poor. He could emphasize helping the poor a lot more than the previous pope.
It'd be interesting to see about the angle of the minority angle. I mean,
Yeah.
he's from Latin America, South America, but I get the feeling that won't play that much. I don't into his legacy. It'd be more about the poor, but it would be nice if that could be played up a little bit in terms of what with his leadership as a minority.
Matthews on Meet the Press this morning, or on one of the shows this week, was saying that that basically he thinks that within 5 or 10 years that a guy like this, he thinks this guy's going to possibly be somewhat of a liberal, and that they're going to have women priests and things like that over the course of the next 5-10 years, whether it's him or the next guy. What do you think like that, or no?
I think it's more likely to have married priests.
Or married priests, yeah.
Yeah, because
A
technically,
scandal. This is what's driving these guys to go crazy.
Anything to pull away from the kids.
Yeah, I think so.
Just suck them right away.
That's a good way to put it.
Protect the kids.
So, I guess moving on, North Korea, they're saying that a U.S. representative, although this guy's like more on the right-wing side, so he could be, trying to overstate things to scare everyone, but he's saying that North Korean missiles can reach the U.S., which we've been scoffing all along, saying, oh, no, don't worry, they don't really have the technology to go anywhere. So he's saying, watch out, this could get kind of scary. Anybody have any opinions about North Korea? 1 week the guy's partying with Dennis Rodman, the next week he's wanting to, blow us to smithereens. I don't know.
Well, there was a report that we added 14 more missiles.
Yeah, we're about to. Yeah,
we're about to do that.
Fighting sites. Yeah.
Right. To deflect anything coming our way. So, really, nuclear war is going to wipe out half. I mean, it's just
Star Wars.
I can never truly get behind anybody having the nerve to really push a button for a nuclear weapon to go anywhere, because they're going to get counter nuked coming back your way. So I can never really get totally behind it any type of nuclear battle going on. It's just all about power.
It's Rodman's fault, man. He's going to go down as the fall guy for this because he presented such a unique image of America that now he really wants to nuke that shit.
how could he want to nuke us? He is a huge NBA fan.
I know.
And we obviously produce.
And movies. They love the movies, the
Yeah.
Kim Jongs or the Jong-ils or the whatever they are.
No
Wait,
doubt. I mean,
movies?
And the conservatives have previously said that Iran and Iraq could send missiles this way, and that's not true. So I kind of doubt that Korea can get a missile to us.
Definitely. I mean, halfway here it would get exposed. I mean, North Korea is not next door. It's a nice little trick for a missile to get around over into the United States. You know what I mean?
they'd probably have trouble reaching South Korea.
Right. Yeah, exactly. South Korea's in trouble.
Well, he's decreed that the peace agreement with South Korea is over. So I don't know about. I'm like, oh, really? Do you think South Korea is worried with us? I think it's like 600,000 U.S. troops protecting them.
Not very professional of him, is it?
No.
But it's us having troops in South Korea that makes North Korea not like South Korea, though. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
That's part of it, I'm sure.
The longer we keep our troops there, the longer this is going to continue. You know, we're just continuing this beef between the two Koreas.
Wait, Kobe beef?
Yes, exactly. Kobe beef.
It's probably the longest, if the war continues, it'll probably be the longest pause in the middle of a war.
I don't know, wouldn't that be weird?
50 years.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we got to take a state, I nominate Maine. So, I mean, they can nuke Maine. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Maine.
What's happening in Maine, anyway?
I don't know. I think Maine is pretty much off the map.
Right.
You know, as far as
It's close to
anything
Canada.
works.
That's about it.
They're making deadliest catches up there. You know,
That's
shit
true.
like that.
But
okay.
I've got here's an interesting question. Somebody proposed that with all these budgetary issues, we're saying that we're going to have to release a large number of detainees who are so-called illegal aliens. And somebody said, well, why are we letting them go instead of some of our own nonviolent American citizen offenders and putting them first? And I thought, I thought that was kind of an interesting concept. Anybody got any thoughts on why we're putting the release of illegals over our own?
Well, how many nonviolent offenders are there in federal prisons?
Supposedly there's about 2 million. I mean, in the U.S. population as a whole, 2 million people are in prison, and I've heard 60-something% are nonviolent drug offenders.
Who will make your license plates? Sorry.
But in a federal prison
so
versus
it's
California. In
because
other
of
words,
the
you can't
federal
release
okay.
California prisoners or something. And also, illegal immigrant detainees you can just ship back to another country, and you're not worried about them as much.
But okay, I see what you're saying.
And Obama, supposedly, he has the highest percentage of letting illegal detainees back, sending them back to their country.
Really?
I think I'm pretty sure that's the stat I've heard. Of all the presidents, I believe that's the stat I've heard this week.
I think is one of his nicknames, the Porter in Chief.
Well, I heard he's done
not
very
that.
few pardons also, like overall.
Yeah, he's done about 19 of them or something recently.
Yeah, whereas other people have done like 144 or something, So, I don't know. But maybe you'll save it to the end, just like Clinton, I think.
Most
did
do
or
it at the
something.
very end of it.
Yeah. Just,
Right.
pardon all of his secret rebel
Yeah, I
guerrillas.
should have gotten to that pardon list because it was all these things like people who pulled off mattress tags. I think was what it was.
What was that?
The people who pulled off the tags off their mattress.
Yes.
But thud.
There was a grand amnesty to anyone who had ripped off a mattress tag.
But
Obama has heavy investment in the mattress industrial
complex.
And, no, it's simple.
Yeah.
But I feel you.
Sealy Posturepedic is pretty upset about it. I'll say that.
The lobby is just
Sealy, Soros, it's all kind of the same, right?
There you go. But okay, so here's this is probably going to get y'all going. This week there's a new study that showed that sex in space can actually be dangerous, and what they're saying here is that if you actually read the article, it's not so much that it's sex that's dangerous, because nobody's really tested it yet, but or that we know of. It's like, I know. Well, I'm thinking if you're stuck on the International Space Station for months or years at a time, somebody's getting it on up there. I don't know how you get the privacy, but I guess you probably lock yourself into a special room or something, airlock, and
Jizz
you
lock.
go at it. Yeah. So,
what's all that floating white
exactly
silky stuff?
Well, that's what they're saying is the problem is that some people speculated on a thread. Oh, so if any liquids get out, how do you ever stop that? And then also the smell of sex in space, that it's all airlocked. I mean, it's like, ugh. But other people pointed out, there's HVAC in the space station. But the point being, they're saying that reproduction in space would be dangerous, which bodes poorly for our plans, our hopes that someday we can repopulate on Mars or the moon or something. They're saying that the lack of gravity pulls things apart so much that you couldn't have all the cells of an embryo hold together well. It would just be this turn into this big icky gunk that gets pulled apart.
It'd be like an
Evolution.
alien, like just popping out of your stomach.
Wouldn't it be sweet? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like the star baby.
That's always what happens. Like the girl is pregnant in the spaceship, and then it comes out and it's an alien. Like just pops out.
Shoot him up, yeah.
You'd
Prometheus.
imagine they'd have to do tests, like get a cat pregnant in space and then see how it grows. To really know what
They've been
mammals
testing
do.
plants so far to see how they grow cellularly.
Well,
yeah, they haven't really tried to plant yet. Or an animal
Yeah,
yet.
I think that Russian meteor was really a placenta falling down, or something like that, from Mir.
Hurtling.
Well, that ruins my plans. I mean, I was secretly trying to get to space and leave this planet because everybody is going to shits on this planet. But so now I have to second guess. I mean, I was going to try to take a nice little Playboy model up there with me and just start my own little.
Well, who you can take up
my
there?
own
There's
world.
actually somebody from the sex industry that is making plans. Former porn star Coco Brown. The report says that she's in training to become the first porn star to perform in space, but then it was updated to say, no, she's just merely going to spend, and she's done this already. She's plunked down $100,000 to be a space tourist, but she's going of her own accord. She's retired and has no interest in getting back in the game, but she said she might flash some titties for her fans.
Is that Coco Ice-T's girlfriend?
No. This is somebody else.
Because she would have
different Coco.
Yeah, well, just what we need.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
Yeah, there are.
Cocos.
It's a franchise, Coco's. But just what we need for the dignity and majesty of the cosmos. A porn fucking star in space.
I know, right?
Space tourism and space commercialism and stuff like that. Yeah,
Right.
neon signs on like.
Right, because they haven't done many of those yet, so she would technically be in the history books when they write about
It's
it.
one of the first.
One of the first 100 was a porn star,
Oh, yeah.
and she flashed her tits to
I know, it's
the
wonderful.
whole space station.
She did the moon she mooned from the moon. It's gonna
Well,
be a
she's the
big
star
thing.
of such classic films as Black Panty Chronicles 2 and Big Booty Bomb 2. And she's paying around $100,000 to travel on a commercial space flight chartered by SpaceXC, a Dutch company, which makes us wonder, damn, how much does porn pay these days?
Space sexy.
Yeah, I mean, what is she getting residuals? I mean, how is she coming up with? Even if she saved all her money, I don't even think she would have all that. But I don't know. I'm not a big porn guy. Is she a vet or is she still in the game?
Clearly.
Oh, no, she's retired.
Clearly a
Okay.
vet, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Yeah.
she's in the Hall of Fame.
She's been through the ringer. She's been worked over a few times. So.
They can retire with less than 20 years in.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Pretty
Then
much
invest
get
it.
retired with less
Invested.
than 20.
But should they raise the retirement age in porn, Carl? That's
hope
the
not.
question of
I
our day.
know. Well, let's just hope they
2
never have
years.
to be old enough to be as old as a pope to become a sex star, because that would be bad.
Well, you know what? I mean,
They retire way early.
if you can get back in the game at 76 in the porn game,
yeah.
I mean, sooner or later somebody's going to do it. Somebody's coming back at 76.
have.
I'm surprised they don't come back for the granny sex porn genre or something,
Yeah, hey,
The Return of Sika.
Well, yeah,
who
there's
would
a
watch
Jap-
that? Who would watch
Yeah.
granny porn? Would anybody?
There is such a
Yes.
thing, I've heard. I don't know.
Who in this room is
You've
a better
heard.
question?
Well, I wouldn't.
I have.
Right, he has.
John Montana love some granny porn.
Yeah, are they collecting social security? But dun, dun, dun.
I think the Pope could do porn. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd have to be kiddie porn probably.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So,
He is named Jorge.
and other science news, Google is catching some heat because have you guys heard of the Google glasses?
Google
Yes.
Glass.
I've been hearing about
Google
them. Yeah.
Glass, and it's like these super douchey looking sunglasses that you're supposed or glasses that look like sort of like shades. You put them on, and I don't understand what the point is, but it like supposedly you turn them on, and it collects images of whatever you're looking at. But
Yes.
then where does it send the images? Where do they get filed or seen? Do you guys know?
I'm kind of writing a comedy bit around that now because it is
So
supposedly.
therefore, you're an expert.
Well, I'm kind of still trying to figure it out, but
Yeah.
there, you can record what you're seeing,
Sure.
and so that's the option. I don't know where. I guess it goes back to some hard drive, but you can record what you're seeing,
Cloud.
and then you can also supposedly you can watch on your skin, like
Yeah.
some images on your skin from the glasses.
There's skin projector and stuff. Someone
Like
just
a hologram.
someone
like
just
a
got
laser
their-
Obi-Wan Kenobi type of shit.
yeah. You get You get
a few other things too,
printed
huh?
skin, like the Google. First of all, there's the cloud storage. That's where stuff could go. The stuff is projected just onto your eyes, right? Just like the internet,
Yeah.
the website.
Well,
And
onto
then-
the glasses.
Yeah, on the glass.
Okay.
Not onto
Not
your,
on your
eyes,
eyes,
but
yeah.
projected in front of your eyes. And then I saw something about a printed tattoo, a hologram tattoo someone got, and there is stuff it works. It shows on your skin. There's like a cell phone you could control on your skin, something like that.
Yeah.
Do your
Now-
TV remote like on your wrist.
Have you seen Google goggles?
It's just.
No.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah, that's just something you already get for your Android phone.
Oh, really?
And when you can use it to look at different things, and as you're looking at, say, a business, it'll bring up 6667's Hollywood Boulevard, and it'll bring up the business information.
Yeah, it's,
so it definitely has that type of data as well.
It's like you
well,
look
hip
at
to that.
like
Oh,
you
so that's out already. Okay,
Yeah,
the goggles.
It's like you hold it up to the world and it tells you what's out there,
Yeah.
right? Like
And you-
through the
yeah.
camera. Sure.
And you
sure.
could take a picture of something like the Eiffel Tower, and it'll recognize the Eiffel Tower, or bring up the data and probably the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
For,
Big Brother government.
Yeah.
This is next level. This is the Bond 007 stuff that was in movies a decade ago. Now
Yeah,
it's
like
slowly leaking out.
Yeah.
I can get the phone that James Bond actually uses in Skyfall from like AT&T for $50. Contract signed. Like, I can be close to him.
Yeah, some hot chick tried to sell me that phone. She's like, it's the James Bond phone from Skyfall.
Yeah.
Really?
Real one.
And I was with the girl from Skyfall in my shower
Yes,
this morning,
yes.
so that's how it translated.
Wait, which one? Money.
It was so many of them.
Yeah.
You just got the phone and suddenly you got the girl who came with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was the
She
upgrade.
showed up. She was in the FedEx.
Yeah.
And
I got offered that too.
But they're saying that this raises all sorts of privacy concerns, and also how are people going to react? Are people going to go up and be pulling these glasses off, and people are punching them in the face for being filmed unwanted things? I mean,
Well,
if it's obvious that they are record, they might just look like regular glasses. I'm not sure.
no,
Now-
not really.
There's an American computer scientist who's had glasses like this that are implanted and built into his head.
what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he went to a McDonald's in France, and they were because of privacy issues, they were yelling at him, and they actually punched him. And meanwhile, he was trying to show he has a note from his doctor that says he cannot remove the glasses.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if he had them implanted in his head, how do they notice that he had them to get mad?
They must have been able to tell how they looked. Something
Wow.
was going on.
Would you hit a man with space age glasses?
That's right.
Come on.
4 eyes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves. For
Yes.
That man had a medical condition.
Yeah.
That he had created.
Ridiculous, Carl.
He created, yeah.
He created it right. but still,
Self-implantation, retinitis. Yeah.
respect him.
But, but do you think this is going to be abused, or do you think it's nothing to worry about, just mindless stupidity?
We're living in a different age. Google Street View, right?
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
That has captured a lot of stuff that people didn't want captured, and it's just going to go up and
Like,
up.
what's an example?
Well,
Because I
there's-
know they go by and they
Dick
take
Cheney's
pictures of
house.
houses.
Yeah, no, this was in Eastern Europe. There was one. It was a prostitute having sex with a guy, and you can see his stuff, and that was
Wow.
You
captured.
can't, as long as you can't tell who it is. Who's that?
Yeah, well, you know what? They automatically blur out faces of people, but you could see the rest of them.
Hey, man, that's value added.
That should be blurred itself.
Right.
No,
Well-
Dick Cheney had his house taken off Google Earth
Really?
in like Wyoming. Yeah, because
How do
makes
you?
sense.
I guess it's Dick
No
Cheney.
one
can
can
do
see-
it.
If you're Dick Cheney, yeah, I'm sure you can do that.
I'm sure that a lot of people would love to take him out, literally.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's like, please take that off Google Earth.
Here comes knock knock from the Secret Service.
there's-
right now.
Yeah, people are trying to arrest him everywhere he goes.
Three-quarters of the country hates me. Can you
Yeah.
take that off
Go
Google?
fuck yourself, Mr.
You know what
VP.
I'm
No one gets to see Darth Vader's pod. Okay.
They took his house off, but they added W. Bush's. So
nice.
just to get him
for real.
taken out permanently from the world.
Oh wow! So, in one other development that's going on, the Mayor Bloomberg in New York City had issued a ban on giant-sized sugary drinks like sodas. Like basically outlawing the big gulp and things
The
like that.
Kozlowski of sodas.
And so a state judge in New York halted the Bloomberg ban in a victory for all fat Americans. He halted the Bloomberg ban and says, no, you can't tell people that they can't have large sugary drinks. And so, what say you guys?
Well, there was some southern state. I don't know if it was. I think it might have been Alabama. I'm not sure.
Probably,
They
but,
counteracted. They passed a law that made it illegal to pass future laws or regulations that would limit or require food to be healthy. So they're they're preemptively banning the ban.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it, we want to be fat, and we're going to stay that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, they,
Don't you?
It's interesting that
Actually, I'm joining Weight Watchers on Wednesdays. So there.
Yes.
Oh, all
These
right.
jokes we'll see soon.
Yeah. I think it was Mississippi, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Which,
sounds about
which
right.
is like the second fattest state already, and then they passed a law.
Until I moved, and then they
Yeah.
became first.
They're low. They're low on a lot of stuff there, but no.
just the fact that he had the balls to even come up with that and try to pass it. I mean, I give him credit for putting something out there to say, hey, we got enough fat people in New York, the state of New York. Just try to stop them from drinking big gulps and gulps.
But then people always say that we're overpopulated and all that stuff. Then why not let just people kill themselves? I mean,
I know.
I'm a
Bring smoking
libertarian. I think that suicide should be legal. I think that assisted suicide, people who are in pain and stuff like that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
okay.
But like if people want to kill themselves through cigarettes and McDonald's or whatever, let them do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, it's not my business to tell you what to put in your body,
Yeah.
Hey, I
Ron
get
Paul-
it. I'm not saying he's right for doing it, but
it's
Bloomberg.
just they're wasting all the tax monies in court and everything, and they don't want it to be the slippery slope where you ban soda, then you ban this thing,
Well,
then you ban
even
napkins.
the NAACP was against this ban because they said that all the businesses that were being affected by this ban were businesses in like black communities that were selling these big 2-liter bottles of soda.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
I was just waving her.
So they were affected by that ban, and a lot of people went against it, and so he lost.
It's political, man. It gets in there. Focus groups, special interest groups.
It is a slippery slope because if they allow that, then you're gonna have to allow a lot of
What's
other
next?
stuff. So.
Outlawing Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles?
Outlawing bacon. Outlawing bacon.
They need the bacon. I think needs to be addressed.
People would be rioting in the streets if they outlaw bacon.
Oh my God!
You know what I mean?
I mean,
People would be shooting
bacon
each other.
needs to be addressed because I'm telling you, I'm ginormous, and I'm finally going to try as I drink my first soda in 2 weeks.
Yes.
But I gotta say though that is the most addictive substance, and people are putting that shit in everything now. Bacon, including the worst is at like Denny's. They put it in the middle of milkshakes, and I tried it once. And I promise just once because it is gross. But there's some people out there that are probably going, "Oh, yum, bacon and ice cream, finally!"
Bacon donuts.
Well,
It is
Bacon in chocolate bars.
All we need to do
Is there?
Yeah.
Bacon.
People love pork. People
know
love
what?
pork, man.
I think that might actually probably taste good. Like that's
Yeah, well,
weird.
I think you can get it at, what is it, World
Let
Cost
me write
Plus
this down.
Market?
Oh, okay.
World Cost Plus Market, yeah.
Well, basically, yeah. Well, as long as we harvest police, we'll never have a bacon shortage. But the thing is, they're putting a lot.
We went back to the
We
vault
need
for
more
that
Chris
one.
Dorters.
More donors.
Quick, a donut joke.
Yeah, no. Basically, they have a lot of food issues out there. That is the one.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the deal.
what I thought was ridiculous was that for I'd like to see this banned just for aesthetic reasons. At Denny's, they had a whole special menu tied to The Hobbit. I'm like, really? I mean, like what like really are the little like dwarves in that movie going over on a quest to find Denny's?
An
I don't think so.
unexpected journey to the shitter.
That was a test log line. They tried that one. It didn't go over to them. Yeah,
Anyway.
it didn't go over to it. They changed that long line, but that was the first one that they were going to use.
Unexpected tie in there with the log line.
Yeah.
Anyway, no pun intended, right?
Yeah, no pun intended.
Carry the ring.
So, all right. So then, speaking of this is disgusting. This will put you off bacon. In China, they found dead pigs floating by the hundreds in the Shanghai River, and this was touched on in the last show because they found the first wave of them, so to speak, and now they've found hundreds more, not just 90 from last week, hundreds more floating, and they can't figure out why it's happening. And so it's like, make sure if you're going to eat pork, don't get it in a Chinese restaurant, I guess is what we're trying to learn here.
Racist.
This is in China.
Yeah.
More
Let me write
bacon.
that down real quick.
Yeah.
China, don't eat pork from China.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know.
Don't get the sweet and sour pork.
Which is my favorite thing too at the Chinese restaurant, which really sucks.
I know.
It's,
Yeah, it's
it's
they
a
have a
new
lot
style.
of
Time for the sweet and sour chicken.
they have a lot. They have a lot of nasty shit over in China. They have rivers turning red. They got
they're horrible.
They got
There's
pig.
cults that eat babies in China.
There's
You know about
baby
that?
eating cults.
Baby
You know,
eating cults.
there's
What numbers do they use?
so many people.
It adds up to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And don't they have a pollution issue in China too?
Horrible. Yeah.
Right.
There was a 13 slide show, 13 image slideshow on the AOL story tied to this, and it's just like, oh my god, you can't even see the skyline of the city right behind the people on some days because it's so polluted. And yet, it's like on the one hand, I'm not a big environmentalist as far as I don't have a lot of trust in. I don't really want to get into the argument in a big way now, but I don't like Al Gore. I don't trust a lot of what he has to say. However,
He don't like you.
on the other hand, on the other hand, it's like I got to realize, that whether I think it's a big issue or not, the fact that the people like him did implement some major changes, like eliminating chlorofluorocarbons, was a type of spray that was depleting the ozone layer, and Al was at the forefront of that back in the late 80s. And people were like, "Oh, it's going to destroy the economy. It's hurting. It'll affect the costs of business." And then they went ahead and drove it through anyway. And the pollution is way down in America, and the ozone hole got protected. And then same here in LA used to be. I remember visiting in the summer as a kid, and they would have ozone alerts every day. You never hear about those anymore because they purified. Found a way to purify the gas more than in most of the country.
Yeah. No, it's because no one uses that fucking hairspray anymore
Well,
from the 80s.
Well, that too, yeah.
The lead. There's a ban on lead too, a national ban. So
Yeah.
that's a good
Oh, that was
thing.
causing a lot of the smog? Or
Yeah, and
ozone
also people also believe that the lead caused people to get very violent. That's why we had so many of these riots back in the days, and now
Oh, wow.
we don't
Yeah,
see
it's,
those happen anymore. Because back then there was a lot of lead, especially in California, in the water in LA, and the water was especially polluted in minority communities, so there was even more violence there. But
Activism.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually-
and there's no more lead because of the ban. It actually worked and eliminated a lot of the lead and reduced violent crime by 60%. Like
When they banned the lead, they had
15
no
years.
idea that it affected violence. But now they've been able to tie it
Really?
statistically, and in areas where there was violence, typically there was a lot of lead because of where the roads went, closer to freeways. And
Wow.
in countries where they removed lead, there would be a drop in violence.
Wow.
And they could correlate it between different countries in Europe.
So
as
when
each one got
so
out
when
of
I stopped
very
eating paint chips,
Yes.
I became less violent.
As a
That's
child.
why. Oh,
That is correct.
In China, even the air has tofu in it.
Well, yeah, that's why they eat babies in China. It's all the lead that's in there makes them go crazy. I mean, yeah.
I want to have. I've gone from being angry to being like, "Wow, you guys should have your own show." And we'll talk.
We do.
We do
Plug
actually.
it.
It's
Plug
called
it later.
IJS Radio.
Bipolar much? I'm
Well, we'll
just
get to that
saying.
at the end,
radio,
but
yeah,
anyway.
but let people shine. Goddammit.
So this has turned out surprisingly well. So a couple things that are interesting in the entertainment field. I don't know what's going on here, but it's been a weird week in rap. Have you guys heard about what happened
wait.
to Lil Wayne and
Sorry.
Tone Loc?
Wait, what happened to Tone Loc? And I heard Lil Wayne is or is
Dying.
about to be dead. Like 100% sure. Tell me.
No, I think he's all right.
Oh, really?
Well, Lil Wayne supposedly is recovering.
Yeah.
There are some very mad tweets that I'm about to read from his friends and family, and I can understand. On the one hand, I understand. I would be pissed too if I heard that my they probably do love the guy as a relative, but also relative and cash cow. That people are going, "Hey, he's dead or about to die," and then I'd be like, "Well, fuck you to the world too." But there's some pretty funny.
Could
tweets.
we hear about the much more higher selling rapper Tone Loc also first?
Wait, we'll get to. Well, I was going to follow with the Tone Loc incident,
Okay.
but Lil Wayne was hospitalized this week. Rushed to Cedars-Sinai. I'm assuming in LA then, and was released. That's my hospital of choice. I've been there many times.
Many.
And I was. Well, I can't give away a secret. Anyway, he was released the next day. And was taken to the hospital again after being found unconscious in his room, and they put him in an induced coma even. And so, but then rapper Mac Main tweeted that Wayne is now home alive and well, while Birdman tweeted, "My son is in good spirit. feeling much better. Be home soon. So, I don't know. Lil Wayne himself supposedly tweeted that he's doing good. But here's some of the reactions. TMZ at one point had reported that Lil Wayne is being prepared for his last rites, which I didn't realize anybody but Catholics did. So maybe Lil Wayne is Catholic and therefore could have been Pope. Perhaps the Pope will come to Lil Wayne's side.
Yes, they do it in Kwanzaa religion as well, Carl.
Oh, okay.
Yes, as you know, because to you, you couldn't be any different religionist.
But it says, according to Mac Main, who says my son, but I doubt it's really his dad, Mac Main tweeted, hey TMZ, it's certain shit you should not talk about or play with if you don't know what you talk about. Don't deceive the fans or the people. At TMZ, and definitely don't try to kill a man before his time. So from the bottom of my soul and on behalf of my fam, fuck you, Mac Main. So, any comments about this near dangerous loss to society?
Well, first of all, that's modern PR for you.
I know.
It's rather that's his press release.
Fuck you.
His press release is 140 characters, and it ends with "fuck you."
And it's all written by characters.
Yes. Yes.
Caps on. But
there's no such thing as bad publicity. I mean, when you told me what's more important, Lil Wayne is dying, and then somebody else you told me it was dying, or
No.
another rapper.
Well, no, Rick Ross got attempted
Rick Ross
shooting.
got shot at. Yeah,
He did?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's normal shit in hip hop. You know what I mean?
Sort of, yeah.
And then there's a rapper named Game who got a tattoo of Obama on his chest. That's
Really?
I think that's the weirdest story.
They're all affiliated, yeah.
I think that's cool.
Well, yeah, they always go, there's a lot of death talk, 50 Cent will say, I'm the next rapper to die, or they're out to kill me, or all these, all
No,
this
his
sort of
career
stuff.
already died.
I mean, do you really want to listen to a rapper that hasn't been shot?
Yeah. Or is dead already.
Or serve some time for shooting someone else?
you sell records, man. You sell records,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? I'm in a coma, baby. I'm in a coma.
Yeah.
That's be his next single. I'm in a coma.
He released an album when he was still in jail. I know that for sure.
Who, Lil Wayne or 50 Cent?
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne released the album basically from jail.
Oh, that's right.
All kinds of stuff. He's been caught with an artillery stockade, not stockade, that's a prison, stockpile. AK-47s on his tour bus and all that. So you live a wild life and crazy shit happens.
Even as part of a gang initiation, Weird Al Yankovic shot somebody.
What?
Yeah, or no, it was the Jewish version of shooting. He slingshotted a matzo ball through someone's window, something like that. Yeah, really crazy shit.
Well, the truly scary news was rapper Tone Loc, Mr. Wild Thing himself, collapsed on stage in Iowa. First of all, probably because he was in Iowa, he was just in shock at what happened. But it said he's doing a weekend performance. His real name, you learn something every day, although we've learned a lot tonight, I think, is Anthony T. Smith. And he collapsed after finishing a song during a Saturday night concert on a downtown Des Moines bridge. I don't know if it was an official concert with a stage or if he was just drunk on a bridge.
So it was a bridge collapse? Our infrastructure is...
They said pull over here, and this is where you'll be doing the show.
Really?
Yeah, right here where you're at. Just get out the car.
Jump off the bridge.
Pull up your tour station wagon right
It'll
here.
be his greatest show ever.
About a month ago, I had a sketchy offer by... there was this totally weird-looking... this dude was a white dude that was... one of those, for lack of a better term, I wish there was one, sort of a wigger type, and he was the boyfriend of this weird girl across from my apartment, and so he's always showing up hey, what's up, man? And I'd be I don't know, trying to get away from him, and then he was hey, I know all about social marketing, I can help you with that, and so then after a couple of days, he goes, hey, meet my boss, and so this other dude comes in. Totally nice, very professional black gentleman comes in and says, oh yeah, I'm starting this magazine and this guy's going to be my social marketing guy. I'm oh, okay. And so then they're would you like to be part of this? A couple of days later, I get this phone call from the owner and he says, hey, if you want to be part of our operation, we're rolling out in 2 hours to Vegas to spend the night with Coolio. And I'm what? Well, I came this close to doing it.
You were almost in a gangster's paradise.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they were we're rolling out 4 o'clock. We'll be there about 7. We'll be there, or I don't know how many hours it takes, like 4 or 5 hours, right? And then it says, then we're going to turn around about 2 in the morning and be back in time for you to go to work. And I'm like, and my friend I was with was like, okay, you get this offer from 2 guys. One of them looks really shady, and they're telling you to go hang out with a guy who, back in the day, before he was famous at least, admitted was a crack addict back then, and who knows what he's like now after all these years.
And he just had some legal issues a couple weeks ago,
Coolio?
or a month ago.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, something.
Well, maybe it happened that weekend.
Might have been
It was about
drug
12
related. It was. I can't remember what it was, but he was in the news for something not good.
And I was supposed to get in the car and like ride both ways with these guys. Yeah, get me back in time for work.
There might have been a shovel in the back of the trunk. You would be careful about that.
And soon enough, the white guy got banned from the building. Like I saw the girl like 3 days later. I'm like, hey, tell him I'm sorry I didn't make the trip. And she's like, he's not allowed back here anymore. I'm like, oh, really? Like he broke up? No, like he's banned from the building. So
Protect your butt.
Yeah.
What did he do to get banned from the building?
Protect your butthole.
Yeah, no white people are banned from the CPAC conference building. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Right now.
I forgot about that one. We'll get to that in a second. But Tolo, though, they said that the concert ended abruptly while the 47-year-old was treated. 3 employees of the Des Moines Register who were at the show said several minutes after Loke collapsed, fans were asked to leave. Police Sergeant Steve Woody told the newspaper that paramedics responded after Loke collapsed. I love how they keep referring to him as Loke, but he refused to be taken to a hospital. Loke's representative did not respond to messages Sunday. It isn't clear why he collapsed. It wasn't the rapper's first time collapsing on stage. They said he had a seizure during a 2009 concert in Pensacola, Florida, but authorities said he had apparently overheated there. He also collapsed in '95 while attending a Los Angeles Lakers game. The reason he collapsed wasn't given.
Well, yeah.
So,
Probably the Lakers were losing.
Yeah. And these fools have seizures. People have seizures.
he needs a funky Cole Medina to chill.
Yeah, especially these concerts with all these lights and shit. I mean, it happens all the time. The dude from Metallica almost got burned alive. One of the things, and they got. You think they have that stuff on point, but it's a tough life. It's a tough business. Whatever cocaine, whatever it is, catches up with you. A lot of stuff. We all know about health problems.
Old Dirty Bastard had a heart attack. Big Pun had a heart attack. Pimp C had a heart attack.
Rappers
Wow, what is it that's driving it? They're all on coke.
More rappers have been dying of health problems.
It's mainly high cholesterol.
From the chicken and waffles?
Yeah, they've gone from gang violence to high cholesterol.
Them bacon donuts is big in the rap community.
Yeah.
Well, we know there's higher instance.
We need to have bacon control.
Exactly.
Seriously.
No, I mean we know there's certain health problems with black males, just different
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure, greater risk of all kinds of stuff, heart attack, whatever, stroke. So it's not as surprising at an earlier age, especially with stressful things like concerts and or whatever the heck is going. Stressful.
Yeah, but it's a lot more than just concerts. Yeah, it's the diet, but it's also like drugs. I mean, all these guys are.
Yeah, there might be a little thing called drugs and a little thing called like shitty eating habits.
Yeah,
and that helps. And that helps.
ODB was a vegetarian.
That helps. It helps when you're eating bad.
More fruits and vegetables required.
Not seeing a doctor.
Julio says, "Eat your fruits and vegetables."
Yo, dog.
Let me tell you this.
Get
this
your
is
greens on.
Get your greens
But maybe the government killed him. You never know. I mean, when it's these celebrities.
It's such an important message to share with the world.
Nothing conspiratorial there. My message is a lot of people too, especially like tough guy types and all that, they will avoid seeing a doctor. Even if something is wrong for a while, they're like, oh, well, I don't need to see that shit. Ignore it. It'll go away. All that stuff. So a lot of people, if they would just hit up, get a check every so often, they could avoid a lot.
It's like asking for directions, guys. Really, what's the shame?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go to the doctor, ask for directions.
At least see Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he helps.
Don't go see
He's got the chronic for you.
If not, at the least he'll get you some headphones. You know what I mean?
It's chronic.
Yeah, they cure tumors, don't they?
So, a couple last stories. Michael Jackson's children and Katherine Jackson.
No.
Guess how much they want from AEG Live for contributing to Dad's death through
Nothing.
all the pressure, that Michael brought on
$1
himself.
million.
They're suing AEG.
No.
They're suing AEG.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want because they think that the pressure of the preparing for 50 concerts, which Michael asked for. Nobody doubts that.
Exactly.
They said that they want $40 billion.
Ooh. They got that.
Everybody's laughing like it's the Doctor.
Conrad Murray.
Evil, like comment in reverse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$1
$1
million.
million. But here it's like so absurdly large. There's no way on earth they're going to get 40 billion.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, exactly.
$1 million.
They know that AEG is somehow responsible indirectly for Jacko's death. So you got to milk it, because the point is, even if they don't award you the full settlement, they'll give you a fraction. Maybe they'll give you 11 billion or something. Like they are on the hook to pay it. So it's good. In negotiations, you always start.
It's going to be hard for them to prove that they're responsible. They're not going to win that case.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, they're saying it's ridiculous.
I agree with you. I think it's just they're trying to get as much money as they can off of this guy's death. I mean, remember when Trayvon Martin died, like the mom went and copyrighted the phrase "justice for Trayvon."
Oh, really?
And I felt like, wow, you're
know
not trying to capitalize off your son at all on there.
Well, I didn't know that.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
not shocked though.
The whole point is, this man who's worth billions in his music and his collection. I mean, it's up for grabs. Someone's got to try to get pieces, siphon whatever they can from it. I don't know if his dad
It's
owns the
capitalism,
shit.
but at the same time, it's like, it really shows. It shows people's true colors, when you put your money where your mouth is, and you can tell a lot about somebody's character by where they put their money.
True colors, not a racial statement, by the way. I like
But Michael Jackson, nobody knew what his true colors were anymore.
it don't matter if you're black or white. That's the point. All this stuff. There's a lot of interesting, conspiratorial elements around all these musicians and dead celebrities, and then who wants to get the money, and the star whackers, and who owns the estates, and all this crazy shit.
Michael Jackson's name, of course, adds up to the number 11.
Oh,
Yes.
Along with Tone Loc
yeah, Mickey Mouse is
and Lil Wayne.
yeah.
Wow.
All add up to 11.
And I think Tone Loc has 11 cents left.
That's
Ooh,
right.
look into it, all you Kabbalistic numerology cause effectors, ass fans.
But finally, here's a number that was rather disturbing. The mother of a 9-year-old girl is catching heat around the country for admitting, I don't know how this came up in the news in the first place, but she didn't get in trouble for it. She just wound up on the news for it. She's in San Diego, and she admitted that she took her 9-year-old daughter shopping for underwear at Victoria's Secret. And everybody's like, okay, isn't this a little young for the thong or...
9-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't that young nowadays. I saw a Muslim woman working at Victoria's Secret.
What?
Like a head wrap. She had her head wrap and everything, and long, like, black skirt and all that. And yeah, she was arranging like neon pink panties in the front.
Where was
bunker
this? I
section.
don't know.
Well, I mean, I go in at least once a
picture
day.
of that. This
Yeah.
is like a picture from like one of those Facebook memes.
Yeah,
like,
I think I might have it on my Facebook even. But yeah, I mean, so a 9-year-old girl. I mean, it's underwear. What are you going to say? Oh, this.
Well, she's like, well, I don't want her to have be the one kid with the ugliest underpants.
Oh, of course not.
So yeah, take her to get a little fringe and
Yeah, come
thong.
on.
I
I mean,
you-
and underwear there is like $50-$60.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
just
Well, you
don't
want your
spend
daughter
it.
to have the best.
oh, that's true. Okay,
Think about it.
This
It's
is my,
right.
this is my
I'm gonna
baby's booty.
Well,
Right.
isn't pink, that's modeled, that's geared towards younger
The
younger
color?
girls.
Girls.
No,
the artist.
no, the
Hey,
pink
my,
line.
my daughters are
Oh,
gonna
the
wear
pink
granny
line, my bad.
panties.
I'm
all
totally
right?
off.
This is
My bad.
Yeah, sorry. But basically, no. I mean, the Victoria's Secret is in the mall right next to the Hello Kitty, the actual kiddie store.
Yeah.
Like, so, what's it? You walk through the front part. Like, that's it.
She's
What's
a
the
horrible
difference?
mom. Let's just get to it.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
a horrible mom.
At least she didn't give a 1-year-old a
excuse
bong hit like I saw
Buying
another.
But
a
they-
9-year-old
but there's-
Victoria's Secret.
The
There's
point is, they make
no
these
reason.
things. That's what's horrible. Like they make Barbie dolls that dress up like sluts and shit like that, and it's not. The bad part is, yes, parents are buying these things for their daughters, but these things are making money. Like these things are like in Saturday morning cartoon commercials and all this
It's
stuff.
the
I mean, look,
Nicki-
Only because someone's buying it.
Look,
It's-
you can get great panties at Target. I'm telling you. I bought my 9-year-old girlfriend some great panties there, and she loves it.
Is your name Jorge Goblobrios or whatever? Hey, also,
Wow, what a full
That would
circle.
be for your 9-year-old son.
yeah. Hey now. Also, yeah. Oof, cutting it close, cutting it deep. It's the menagification of our culture.
Whoa.
How about that?
right.
Nicki Minaj.
The houseification of it's a house is what it means in French.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Menage.
Menage? No, that's maison.
No, menage a trois is I believe it's a household of
House
three.
of three? Oh, like
Wow.
a group of three?
Yeah.
know where Jim's mind is.
I call them freedom fries. I don't know about you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of another contentiously funny hour of the Cause Effect. And I want to thank all our panel. Anybody got anything they want to pimp out for the week?
Oh, we didn't get to CPAC though, huh?
CPAC. We'll get on CPAC. All
Next
right.
week.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, 5 minutes at CPAC, sure.
Okay, so they had this conference. What the topic of the conference was like, you keep getting accused of being racist. So they had these two black brothers are the speakers at the conference, and they're talk about Frederick Douglass, and he was a Republican, and it wasn't enough. Some racist Southern guys who were wearing, one of them was wearing a rebel flag T-shirt, of course.
Well, okay.
He felt like white Southerners are being disenfranchised, and the guy starts talking about how Frederick Douglass, when he had escaped to freedom, he wrote to his slave owner and said, "I forgive you." And the guy says, forgave him for what? Giving him food and shelter?
Wow.
Basically.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, let's explain what CPAC is. Our audience
Yes.
might not know what CPAC is.
Well, we call it fudge pack around here,
It's a
but
conservative
Political Action Committee.
Convention.
Conference.
Which is
I'm sure there's a lot might not know what that is.
Which
Okay.
is a
yeah.
conservative Woodstock, basically. It's like 3 days of nothing but like Sarah Palin and Rick Perry. It's funny, Rick Perry.
3 days of racism and intolerance, and hate.
what's your name? Carl Matthews over there?
I'm just
come on.
kidding.
And Chris Christie is too liberal for them, so he was not invited.
Because he gave Obama
a hug.
Yeah. Well, he just
Can't give a
couldn't.
black man a hug.
He just couldn't get up on the stage. That's all.
I mean, in reality, is he might be the only shot they have of winning in the next election, but
could be.
Well, yeah, but
maybe as of
right
today,
about that,
as of today.
I've switched my allegiance to Rand. Surprise.
Oh yeah.
Well, he won. He won the straw
The
poll
problem with
vote.
Rand is he did an interview with Rachel Maddow where it took him 20 minutes to kind of establish that people have the right to be racist, and that interview is gonna haunt him. Yeah.
So no, but
It
that
might be
works.
The problem with Rand
At CPAC, that works for him. I mean,
Well, yeah, there at CPAC. Now, John, it would take another hour to probably parse that out. It would be an interesting discussion, but that is sort of the case of what he was doing, but that was also a little more complicated than that.
Rand is throwing out the white meat to his base.
Jeez.
No, but you know what I thought was interesting about CPAC though? You had Rick Perry totally diss the guy he endorsed, Mitt Romney, and it was interesting. Like he was like, "We elected the wrong Republican," you know what I mean? We nominated the wrong guy. And then you had Sarah Palin dissing Karl Rove and all that. So it was kind of like the whole thing was about
An awesome fight.
Yeah, it was about the new more Tea Party winged Republican Party turning on the old neocon Bush establishment guys like Karl Rove and Mitt Romney, who basically was a big failure.
Switching from one brand of douche to
so
another.
they're rebranding themselves, and then Marco Rubio is kind of just a Latin version of Mitt Romney, and it's going to be interesting to see them trying to either get behind him or Rand Paul, who's just a softer version of his father.
What do you think, Jim, about those candidates? About his assessment?
Well, yeah, when you lose as big as they lost, because they were totally expecting to win, you basically have a bunch of different, 2 or 3 sides trying to figure out how they're going to get back in power, and you got the Sarah Palin types who hate the Karl Roves, and the Karl Roves who admit that Sarah Palin's an idiot, and it's just fun to watch.
Honesty, man. Honesty is the best political policy. Psych.
So I don't know who's going to get to the front of the pack by 2016. Who do you think, Carl?
Here's what I think. The show before us is actually hosted by a Tea Party guy, but a good guy. I mean, honestly, not just saying it. He doesn't get into the social issues. I even tried to address one today, and he was like, "No, we're just about taxes, debt, and economics. That's all he wants it to be." And he was one of the founders. And he felt it got hijacked. But anyway, he was talking about the CPAC conference nonetheless, and he was pointing out that he thinks that Ted Cruz is going to be formidable if the media doesn't distort his record. He sees, I didn't know. I don't know enough about this independently from him. I need to read more before I can say this is my opinion. But he was saying that Ted Cruz is supposedly a very successful and respected constitutional lawyer, and yet the press is just going, "What a bulldog! What an ideologue! What a
Right wing wacko.
And yeah, they're calling him a wacko, but he's actually supposedly has a very long and successful track record. I don't know.
Never heard of him.
Did you see him grill Dianne Feinstein? That was
He was talking about the fight between him and Feinstein. He said it sounded like it was fun. I don't know.
that was great. I thought she couldn't even answer the question.
No.
It was a
She
basic
couldn't, or he
question.
couldn't.
She couldn't answer that question.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, he was basically asking her, like, do you think that the Second Amendment, should be treated with the same amount of respect that you treat the First Amendment? Like, you don't ban, like, certain books, then certain books you're allowed to read, so you should apply that same logic to the Second Amendment, and Dianne Feinstein couldn't answer that question.
Oh, damn.
I think that's a pretty good argument there. I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, and
There's got to be some limits. First of all, well, because I could possibly create a gun-shaped nuclear bomb. I
just thought of something that does fit. There are limits, even with free speech, in a way, in that you can't pick up beyond Playboy level porn at Barnes and Noble. I mean, you have limitations on what they'll carry. You have to go to the adult bookstore to get really nasty shit.
You can't bring a 9-year-old to Victoria's Secret. Just stuff like that, stuff that would never happen. Oh yeah.
No, but I'm talking about content. What's available in certain areas that make it harder to get. And so maybe that's where that's a valid comparison.
We need to. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine we clearly have to have
some
freedom.
guns harder than others to deal with.
I just don't think it works though, because people can make guns in their basement. Like I have a friend who has a friend in Afghanistan who can make his own AR-15s in his basement. He has the molds for it and everything.
Okay,
so
here comes the Secret Service.
Yeah. So the thing is, what like all this thing about like let's have more background checks and stuff like that. Well, criminals are not going to get background checks. They're going to be like, if I want to get a gun, I'm not going to get it over there because I don't want to go through background checks. I'm going to get it illegally in the black market.
You've been eating your gunny nut Cheerios, haven't you?
Yes, I have. No, I'm just saying. To me, that sounds like logic. Like criminals. I'm not a criminal, but I have friends who are, or used to be criminals and can very good at thinking like criminals.
All right, well, we got literally got to wrap it up with, if you don't mind, I'll just close with you real quick since you're jumping in.
Well, it's just that, if you outlaw rape, then only outlaws will have rape. I mean, it's just,
yes.
I mean, the statement, of course, there's...
Rape's outlawed?
Yeah, right.
Bad for cause.
Oh, you can't outlaw that, or only the outlaws will have that. Well, that's the way it is with everything. If you outlaw nuclear bombs, then only outlaws will have nuclear bombs. I mean, it's just sort of idiotic talk.
Hey, we need to put the Constitution on cruise control.
I understand your argument, but nuclear bombs are an offensive weapon, not a defensive weapon. So I think
an AR-15 is an offensive weapon.
More comedy
in a movie
less
theater.
debate.
But criminals have bigger guns. They have fully automatics. Like they have things that are way crazier than an AR-15. So even an AR-15 can protect you.
If you pull them over with that, they go to prison.
I have the biggest gun.
Unless it's legal.
And on that note, I do have to wrap it this time. So I am Carl Kozlowski, and thanks for being here. And tune in next week, Sunday at 8-ish Pacific time.
No plugs?